Hey there, thanks for coming back. My name is Trent Steele, retired Secret Service agent, now Director of Safety and Security of a large 40,000 person church and 2 K through 12 districts. And my main function, the thing that I think is most important, is just the idea that we can take the information that we had as Secret Service agents, as former federal agents, the way that we would protect presidents, the way we would protect former presidents, presidential candidates, that kind of stuff. All of those techniques can be transferred into the private sector utilizing different assets, and you can begin to mitigate a lot of vulnerabilities as a church director of security or business school, utilizing many of the same techniques, and it can be done. And so that's kind of the passion that I have, is taking that information and passing it along to a certain extent. I think the thing that I'm asked most of all, and I think the thing that's really important that I begin to get across when I do these videos, is that the difference between professional protection, like the Secret Service does, and what I would call a bodyguarding mentality. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But ultimately, a lot of guys think that if you go out and get, I've seen a lot of famous people. Charlie Kirk, for example, was completely protected, I think, by former Special Forces guys, Deltas, SEALs, the best of the best out there, right? And they think that because of that, they now have the best security. Now, don't get me wrong. If the shooting starts, they do have the best security. But if that particular bullet, that particular round takes your guy out right away, like it did with Charlie, then what's the point of you having a Delta? What's the point of you having a SEAL that can then take the heat back to the bad guy? There's no point, right? You've done nothing. In other words, that's a bodyguarding mentality. That is a, when it goes bad, I'm ready to react. Reaction is always slower than proaction, which is what professional protection does. If the Secret Service does anything well, it is the advance work ahead of time to keep a person safe, so that by the time the protectee, the person we're protecting, gets there, we are sliding them into a protective bubble. We've been there for a week or more, or maybe a little less, but generally speaking, a week, and we have completely set up security to the point at which we've already mitigated all the threats. Charlie Kirk, again, is an excellent example of how it goes wrong when you don't do the advance work correctly. So what does that mean for you at school? What does that mean for you at church? Advance work is simply that. It is you walking around and finding the vulnerabilities to your campuses ahead of time, mitigating those with whatever assets you need to, and we can talk about those on this channel, on these videos as we go forward. But it is you mitigating ahead of time. It is you walking the path of your protectee ahead of time and removing vulnerabilities. It is all of that. It is professional, proactive is the word. Professional, proactive security is what my agency did very well. Once the shooting starts, you've failed. That's the reality of it. If you find the bad guy in your worship center or in your school, you've failed. You need to be out ahead of problems long before that. So it's important that I get that idea out, because that mindset, that frame of mind, has to be the way you are handling security, you are handling protection 100% of the time. If you are protecting a famous person, or if you are protecting your students at a school, if you are protecting a church, you are winning the battle left of bang, or you're not winning at all. And that's how it works. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions. Would love to talk to you about it. Would love to hear your feedback. Thanks.